Hi, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com. Today we're going to make peanut blossom cookies, which is essentially a peanut butter cookie with a Hershey's chocolate kiss sitting on top. We're going to start by making the batter for the peanut butter cookies. If you have an electric stand mixer like this, use the paddle attachment, or you could just use an electric hand mixer as well. You will need 1/2 cup, which is about 113 grams of butter, and have that at room temperature. I like to use the unsalted butter here, one because I like the flavor better, and there is salt in your peanut butter as well as we're adding extra salt with the flour, so that's why I prefer using the unsalted. So just first thing is we're going to mix the butter until it's creamy and smooth. Okay, so just scrape down the sides of your bowl as you need. And next we need 3/4 of a cup of peanut butter, which is about 360 milliliters. Now you can use the smooth or the crunchy peanut butter, and you can use the regular peanut butter which has a stabilizer in it, or you could use the old-fashioned or natural that doesn't have the stabilizer, and that means that the peanut butter does separate, so you have to stir that. So whichever type you like. Just going to beat that in. And now just add 1/3 cup of light brown sugar, which is about 70 grams, and 1/3 of a cup of granulated white sugar, which is about 65 grams. And I'm just going to beat the batter until it's light and fluffy, a couple minutes. Okay, as you can see, it has lightened, nice and fluffy. You get some air in that batter. So again, scrape down the sides of your bowl to make sure everything's mixed together. And to this, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, 1 large egg, and have that at room temperature, and 2 tablespoons of milk. Now you could use whole milk, 2%. You could even use skim here. Whatever you have in the house. Okay, I'm just going to beat those in. Okay, looks good. So the only thing left is our dry ingredients. So in a bowl I have 1½ cups, which is 195 grams of white all-purpose flour. And to that I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda and just a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I usually use the kosher salt. And then just whisk all those together or stir them together. We just want to make sure that baking soda is mixed into the flour because you don't want any clumps of baking soda because that will give baking soda is quite bitter tasting. So I'm just going to beat this in and do it slowly at the beginning because you don't want that flour coming up in your face and all over the counter. And we're done. Now, as you can see, this batter is quite soft right now. So we want to roll it into about 1 inch, 2.5 centimeter balls. So we will have to chill this until firm enough to roll into the balls. Now, depending on how cold you keep your fridge, this can take about an hour or a couple hours. But I usually, in my fridge, I usually find about an hour will do it. So I'm going to transfer this to a bowl. Really smell the peanut butter in the kitchen. Okay. So just cover with some plastic wrap. I'm just going to pop it in the fridge. Okay, our batter has now chilled. So first preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 190 degrees Celsius, and you will need to line about 2 baking sheets with parchment paper, or you could just butter them or spray them with a non-stick cooking spray. And then we need to roll the batter into 1-inch balls, which is about 2.5 centimeter. And there's a few ways you could do this. One, you could just use about a half a tablespoon, of the batter and just roll it into a ball. The other way is you could measure to get, because what you want is every cookie to be about the same size. So the other thing is, if you have a scale at home, you could just measure, weigh one, that's about 10 grams, and then just make sure that every one you do is about 10 grams. The other thing I often use is this little tiny ice cream scoop. It measures about 1 inch wide, and then you could just do that and roll it into balls. Now, if you want, you can also roll the batter, the little balls, into granulated white sugar if you'd like to have like a little crunchy outside and kind of sparkling. I normally don't do that because I find these sweet enough, but if you like, you could do that. So space the cookies a couple inches apart, 5 centimeters, and just fill your pan. Okay, pan's filled up. Now we're going to bake these for about 8 to 10 minutes, or just until they're lightly browned. And while they're baking, what you need to do is take your Hershey's Chocolate Kisses and just unwrap them, because we need to put the kisses on the cookies as soon as they come out of the oven. And as you can see, I'm using they're called Hugs, because they have the chocolate plus white cream. You could use the milk chocolate, dark chocolate, there's all different ones now, so whichever flavor you like. So about 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, our cookies are now done. As you can see, they've turned a nice golden brown, and they're a little darker. You can just see the color around the outside edge. So now, you need to take your kisses that are unwrapped, and then what we're going to do is just place it in the center of the cookie and gently push down just until you see the cookie start to crack. And that's it. Just gonna You don't have to push it down very much, because the chocolate kiss will melt a little and hold it in place. So you can just keep doing this until they're all done, and you can cover and store them for a few days. So until next time, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com.